Are we live? Does this mean we're live now?
I think so.
Tommy, today's a big day.
Today's
Let's
a big day.
we're gonna cold intro. Um, you you basically talked me into some bad behavior. I think is the easiest way to describe this, and or maybe Brett talked us into bad behavior. I don't know. Somebody talked us into something, and now we're putting $25,000 of our own money on the line uh, to see people go head to head. Is this a good idea?
I don't know, but I am foregoing the tattoo I was going to get for this. So it better be a good
Okay.
idea. All right.
I don't think I'm ever going to be able to finish decorating my shelves now. Like, you know,
What are we talking about, dude? What the hell are we talking about? But we'll get to it. We'll get to it.
we'll get
We
there.
have some news. It's big. I'm excited. Let's warm up into things. I am Tommy Gioco, which, by the way, wearing two creative department hat. Not a hat guy, I don't think. No,
I don't
not
think
a
you're a
fan.
hat guy. I think
You don't
I
think I'm
think
a hat
I'm the
guy?
hat guy. You're the negative one. I'm the hat guy. That's
Whoa.
how this whole thing works.
No. I'm not
Ladies
into
and
that.
gentlemen, welcome to the most chaotic, stupid person show on the internet about AI. And I can't even do the intro correctly today, man. I can't even do the intro correctly. We just got to get straight into it. So we did Build Wars in February, right? Which at this point feels like a lifetime ago.
February
And
28th, to be exact.
February 28th, almost 2 months ago.
Yeah.
We're a day over that mark, but I think let's give the people a recap here. So that happened pretty organically, as is this new thing, which we're going to cover. But essentially, Lovable came out talking a ton of shit. Figma's dead, designers are dead, and friend of the show Brett called them out and said, if it's dead, let's go. Let's 1v1. I'm gonna show you what's what. And we put that together pretty quickly.
10 days. 10
663,
days.
10 days to put it together, 663,000 views live. It led to massive ARR growth for Lovable. The Lovable team confirmed that was their best day ever.
Whoa.
And let's just say that Brett wiped the floor with Lovable.
Yeah.
Brett with a little bit of Figma and a whole lot of Webflow totally put Lovable to shame.
He was the
And
designer champion that day, and well deserved.
he was, and that started his redemption arc, I would say. He may have stumbled a little bit with gradients, but that's neither here nor there. I think he's said all he's got to say about that. I love, we're going to have to talk about this a little bit because I saw that he tweeted in JP gradient pack earlier. So not Japanese gradients, which is
Right.
hilarious. So we got to cover that. But you and I saw Build Wars and we said, this is something we wanted to do, right? When we put the idea of this show together, one of the things I said is that we should see a massive competition in the community, $25,000 or something crazy. Because typically these competitions are table stakes, right? They're a few $1,000, they're $5,000. They're not a lot of money. And so I feel like $25,000, winner take all, guaranteed prize money for the winner,
Yeah.
is a big deal, right?
It's huge, man. And I want to add to this real quick to interrupt you. This is a tough thing to do. And I mentioned it in the last Build Wars. I've done this before on the Rayloom Design League. And it was a similar challenge with different things going on. And it is sweaty, dude. It is you don't have a lot to gain as a designer. It feels like, and whatever competitor you are, that if you lose this, you're going to be exposed as a fraud. You're asked to do the impossible in a very tight window. You're designing or building in a very unnatural way. And I think what we learned from the last Build Wars was, how do we make this something that people can get excited about who are participating in it? We realize this thing now has like a ton of attraction to it. How do we make it interesting for the people actually doing the sweaty work, you know?
You know, it's hard. We've debriefed a ton about the last Build Wars. We've heard from Brett on just like how intense it was for him and
Yeah.
just getting into it. And I feel it, man. I think it's a tough thing to do, especially with the previous time limit was 45 minutes. I think now we're going to be talking about an hour, but it's pretty extreme. But I disagree that there's not a lot to win. I think there's everything to win. I mean, outside of the fact that there's $25,000 to win this time, I think just the bragging rights of being the
Yeah.
victor, right? Of man beating machine. I think that's everything. I'm excited, man. So let's tell the people how this is going to be. So Bolt announced their new design features, which are great. We might play with those a little bit today on the show and build a widget that we've been meaning to get done. But they're great. And so Eric Simons, Bolt CEO, called out Brett. He said, "Hey, like, you want to go 1v1? Like, I'm the final boss. Like, me and Bolt, we are the final boss." And you and I instantly started our instigating and tried to talk Brett into this. I think Brett, he was very honest with us and just said straight up, like, "Hey, this was stressful. Like, I don't
Yeah.
know that I want to do this again. I don't think it was a ton of fun for me." I'd say that I took that as like the lovable angle felt really hostile, whereas this one is definitely a lot more playful. Like Bolt's a cool company. They're a lot more mature. Eric's a great guy. But I know where Brett's coming from. And so Brett tweeted out, I guess we should disclose that he told us he was going to tweet something Monday. He's like, "We'll see if Eric still wants to battle me after Monday." And I think you and I were thinking that he's going to come and be like, "Oh, like, guess what? I actually have this other AI tool that I've mastered," or whatever it is.
I thought we were going to see
Uh,
some unhinged smiley face
yes.
bobblehead stuff, you know?
Yes, that's not what happened. No,
No.
Brett said, "I'll battle you if you give me $50,000 if I win." To which, it's neither here nor there. I'm not going to speculate on whether or not that's worthwhile or not. I guess it all depends on the amount of views that you can drive for it. But that put the idea in our heads of like, well, man, if we really want to do this, it's probably time that we
Get serious about it.
get serious. We write a check. So here we are, $25,000. Now, maybe Brett
We
wants to
can't
do
do
it.
50. We can't do 50. I'm sorry.
Can't do
we,
50.
we don't got it like that, but we're gonna like
No.
we feel like this is a pretty sick way to get the community paid.
Yeah, I agree, man. I love this community. I want to see the right person from this community take home a big payday. But 50 is too much. I'm not selling any watches to try and hook somebody else up. What's mine is mine, people. Okay, 25 is all you're getting. So, dude, I gotta say, lots of speculation about who it's going to be. I think 25,000 is going to attract whoever we want, right? I think it's going to attract the right people. We've already had interest from some super heavy hitters that we're talking to. It's just a matter of finding somebody that has the right vibe. And maybe Brett comes back. Maybe Brett steps up to the plate and says, "Guys, actually, I'm down." There was an idea. If you mind pulling up that tweet from KP?
Yeah. Let's look at this here. So he says, "Okay, so I had another shower thought. Why would two already millionaire founders 1v1? Fair." And he says, "Brett and Eric Simons is for the glory, duh, plus our entertainment. But the most entertaining version hit me. Each man puts up 25K. They swap tools and compete. Winner takes all." What do you think about that?
I think it certainly makes it an incredibly fun competition, right? I think there's something about saying, like, you know what, let's take all of the hostility out of this. We're going to have Eric, for example, use Webflow and Figma. We're going to have Brett use Bolt. That does make it super playful, which I enjoy. But tell me what you think about this. And chat, I want to hear from you. I think so much of the attraction for the community is seeing an expert go head to head with an expert, right? And I think so much of the draw for the last event was that everybody wanted to know, oh shit, does Brett actually have chops? Right? Because it was kind of this black door, or excuse me, black bag. Like we don't know what's going on behind closed
Yeah.
doors. And so he came out and showed, like, yeah, like I've got the skills. And I think that's attractive to people. And now I think we're in a category of somebody wanting to step up to the plate that is just a proven expert. You know, we've heard names like Fonz Mans, we've heard Traff from the Framer community. Yeah, I think there's just a lot of options.
There's a couple, and we're gonna go over some potential. We're gonna talk with you guys, see what you guys think about it. But I also want to say, in addition to some of these heavy hitters who are really talented, dude, this is just an era. And MDS made a funny tweet today. He said, "Is anything going on in AI tools? I haven't heard any news recently." Which, you know, great sarcastic tweet. And that's true. We just have so many tools and so many updates hitting every week. The question is, how do these tools actually hold up in a pressure cooker? And so when we face them off against somebody like Brett, well, Lovable versus Brett was 2 months ago. And I have to wager that the updates that have happened both to Lovable 2.0 just launched, and Bolt with their new updates, like it's probably a completely different contest 2 months later.
Dude, I think it's night and day.
Yeah.
You know, I've been playing around and I've been one-shotting a lot of stuff in Bolt, and I'm consistently impressed with the results that I'm getting. And I'm doing things that are, you know, a little bit more like web app facing
Yeah.
versus a landing page, but their design editing tools are great. And I will say that, you know, Lovables is cool. Like I like what they're doing with the multiplayer and all that stuff. But like, to be honest with you, I don't want somebody working on a code base at the exact same time with me unless GitHub is involved, right? Like, unless
Multiplayer makes sense after a couple of additional quality of life features are introduced.
yeah, I would agree with that.
If you can iterate away from one version and like drag and drop an infinite canvas to another, suddenly multiplayer is interesting.
I agree with this. All right, we got some breaking news real quick. Let me share my screen here. Actually, just pull up my. Will you go to my Twitter, sir? I want to be the
Yes, I
star of the
will.
show for a second.
Okay. All right.
We got Kyle here saying, watching over the shoulder of experts with their tool of choice is definitely what's attractive to me about Build Wars. I think we're going to hear that a lot. Click on this. Eric, CEO of Bolt, has accepted.
What am I clicking on here?
Click into this tweet, man.
Look at this. Look at this graphic. Look at this visual, bro.
I mean, shout out Petter Knoll. Shout out off menu. Let's scroll. I think we got our tweet here. Do you see Sora? Sora threw their best effort at it. Why am I seeing a chair?
I don't know. It's an ad, I think.
Sir, why do you have ads?
I don't know. I pay for things. Why do I have ads?
All right, here we go. Eric, are you guys serious about this? If so, I love it. Laugh out loud. Basically, UFC for design dev tooling. For what it's worth, I nominate Brett from DJ. Not normally an advocate of taking candy from babies, but in this case, I'm willing to make an exception.
Yeah.
Nice. I like it. I like it. Man, let's see here. And then Eric retweeted, if this is actually real and I win it, I pledge to donate all proceeds to entrepreneurs building cool apps on Bolt.
Oh, hey.
Listen. You know what? Happy to do that. You know, if that's the case, and you know, 25,000 is going out of our pocket one way or another, I want to see it go into somebody doing some cool stuff. So this is cool. I like it. I like it a lot. So I guess the question here is Brett gonna come down from the 25, or excuse me, from the 50K and accept the $25,000 prize offer? I don't know. It's up to him. We'll have to reach out and see what he's thinking.
Brett actually says, bring someone else in from the community that stands a lot more to gain. So
I like that.
25K to someone in the community who would be awesome to listen, I love, and if you guys follow me at all, you know that I love platforming sick designers who haven't had the chance to really get noticed.
Yep.
And I love that. I love the idea of finding someone and just, I mean, listen, that's how legends are born. We're gonna have a board. All right. I already bought this. I bought
Our draft
buildwars.gg.
board.
I
Our
built
draft board.
I bought buildwars.gg, and so far, and we haven't created anything with it yet, but so far, if we had like match banners, very first match would be like grayed out lovable, happy Brett. Second
Yeah.
match, who's second match gonna be? I want a roster of you kings and queens who are gonna come and win against these tools. Can you do it? And I think there's some pretty cool people out there who can. Now the question is, what tools are we gonna? I like the tool face off. There's a lot of tools I want to see put up against some of the greats. Rive, Bolts. I mean, we can name a few,
Yeah.
and I get excited starting to think about it, man.
I do too, man. I think, Brett, I hear you. I agree with you. However, I think heavy is the head that wears the crown. I think the people want to see somebody defend their title. I think that's a big part of it, especially when the stakes are higher, right? It's like McGregor, like winning a belt and being like, "Nah, I don't want to. I don't want to fight to keep this belt, even though I'm going to get paid a lot more." So I think that people just want to see. They want to see somebody defend the title. I think that's a big thing. But if you're saying that you feel like you've proven all you have to prove against Lovable, and you feel that the right move is to allow somebody else from the community to step up, respect.
Yeah,
Fair.
and we'll make room for it too, man. Hey, listen, we need judges, because now that we're putting money up, I mean, we can't judge. Like, it's I mean, I want to be a judge again, but like we can't. Like, it's just not. It would get weird if it ever gets to like a hairy decision and they're like, "Oh, you guys did this," and it's like, okay, like, especially if it's Brett, people know Brett's been on the show now, and people might think there's bias. So we need some judges. I think maybe this time, last time we took a public vote, but we didn't count it towards the actual result. I think maybe this time the public vote is one of the judgment options, right?
I think so. I think we bring in two independent judges, and we have the audience vote count as the tiebreaker. I think
Yeah,
that's going to be the play here.
I like that.
I
I like
like
that a
that.
lot.
I
And
nominate MDS himself to be a judge.
ooh, ooh. Now here's the thing. Every one of these contests, and listen, Lovable versus Brett, which was he was using Webflow, and this time around it's Bolts. I think we're probably going to have a contest that we learned a lot of lessons last time. There are certain elements of this that'll look different, but probably the challenge isn't far away different from what we had. But I do want to be clear. Every challenge that we plan to do for Build Wars is going to be very specific to, I think, the tooling involved. Like, if we have end up doing like a Rive or a Rive versus Spline or something like that, a landing page probably isn't the right challenge. But this one will probably circulate around that somehow. And I think that whatever the challenge is, we need to have a subject expert on the panel. So if we have an AI tool in here, like Bolts, I would love to see somebody like Levels in here judging on that side. I would love to see somebody like Theo.gg, a couple of people who are builders and then, also a designer, and allow them to kind of critique it from their lens.
Dude, I like it. I like where
You
your
know,
head's at. Yep. I
um,
like it. There's
what
a
is Kyle?
long list of people there.
Yeah. I still like the idea of having participants that make, on average, less than the prize money monthly. Yeah, I mean, we can't vet that, What are we going to do? Send us your tax info.
Can we just level with you guys real quick? I don't think that people are often honest enough about this, so I just want to come out and say it. For the money that we're going to spend in prizes, we got to have the right mix of audience,
Yeah.
which means we got to have the right distribution. Otherwise, Tommy and I are just taking a bath, and
Hunter
Tommy's
hates
got
baths.
hats to buy. I hate
Hunter.
baths. Yeah, I am a like Blue Lagoon only type of bather.
That tracks.
Kyle said honor system. There's no honor among thieves, man. Come on. We got Mark Lester Jarman here. What if each platform presents their own champions, like one for Rive, another for Framer, Webflow, round
That's a
robin?
pretty
Okay,
interesting idea.
love that idea. We're working on it. We're working on it. I have to say, I'm going to call him out right here. Webflow did not come through for
No,
Brett at
no.
all during the last Build Wars.
Webflow
They didn't.
strictly said, "This is free marketing for us. We're going to stay out." And that was probably a pretty bad idea, I think.
It
I
was a
think they kind
horrible
of,
idea, I think.
yeah, it was a really bad idea. I think they could have established a good relationship with this whole thing, and they just kind of, they like followed us and they didn't do anything with it. I was like,
Yeah.
okay.
I think that's true. Now, if we get a Framer champion, is Framer going to get involved? I would hope so. I would almost say that might even be just the table stakes here. Is like, hey, like we know what we're going to do in terms of the prize money, in terms of promoting this event, in terms of setting everything up. If you're not going to go to bat for your champion when the CEO of Bolt himself is going to be the champion for Bolt,
After
then
running
we're
a
just
fucking marathon, no less.
after running a marathon, yeah, 2,000 feet elevation gain. I saw. Then we're not gonna consider it. I think that's a good thing that we going into this one is we facilitated the event really well last time, tons of viewership. We got some good stats rolling into this one. So, and now because of some really cool news that Tommy and I are going to share later in the week, we've got some extra horsepower to make this happen. So, I think
CEO of Canva versus CEO of Bolt. Now you're talking.
Dude, that would be so boring though. Like, I don't want to see.
CEOs.
Yeah, I don't want to see an AI like dev builder go against an AI dev builder. Like, I have no interest in Bolt versus Lovable for this or anything of that nature. I think right now what makes this spicy is answering that question of like, are these tools getting good enough yet to come and take the throne from these other tools? Right? Like this
That's
new
gonna
category of
change
tools.
soon, though. I mean,
Dude,
everyone's
it
gonna have
is.
some AI mechanism. I mean, we're probably 3 months out from Figma versus Canva code kind of situation. You know what I mean?
Look, man, all I know is that if there's at least one person that watches one of these competitions that's using Wix today and sees how great it is to use Bolt or any tool like that, and it's like, I'm going to stop using Wix. I think I'm going to go over here to Bolt. Then I feel like we've won a great battle. You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah. I think it's really interesting. So this is the challenge that we're up against is we're building out this whole thing. A couple of like easy, simple North Stars. We want this at the first and foremost to give back to the community. How can we make this lucrative for all participants and something that we can continue to grow and scale? Two, how can we make it like just because they're companies doesn't mean we don't want to help companies that have really great products find their market. Like, how can we make this and show what these tools are actually capable of? Like, yeah, we see all the marketing hype. Shut up and put up. Like, what can you actually do in a competition setting? And if it's sick, hell yeah. And apparently, if you lose, you still have a record day, Lovable. But that all of those ingredients in this algebra are really interesting to me. And I agree with what you just said, which was if the tools aren't willing to come and support this in some way, well, then why should we give access to this like great initiative that we're trying to build here with our own damn money, mind you? So yeah, I kind of want to work on that. I think that's important, but we need to prove this. We need to find really good contestants and people who are getting excited about this. Did I miss much? You missed everything.
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 Alex, honestly, it's too much. It's just too much. Yeah, I got to say, for everybody that is just tuning in, Tommy and I are basically cavemen. And We literally just put this idea together this morning, scrambled to get some artwork to share something on Twitter. Had to log into the Bing account and be like, can we actually do this? Can we do this? The answer is yes. Okay. So we are, I don't know, an hour into being like, we're going to do this. So it's all coming fast. It's coming fresh. We want the community to have a massive say in it and get inside right now, helping us put it together before we start hyping the hell out of it.
So when are we doing this? Well, we're going to aim for the end of May. But there is some flexibility. Obviously, we don't have control of every variable. The part, like if we might find a really fantastic contestant and we've got to kind of flex to their schedule. So those are the kinds of things we're working on right now. But that is exactly what we're going to try to do is I think one of those days, end of May.
Yep. Yeah.
Right.
Give us about 4 weeks. Yeah.
Yeah. Because we got, for those of you attending, there's the Figma conference next week. We're throwing a huge party. Quick plug. I have a huge party I'm throwing on May 7th. Tickets are going very quickly. Please check that out. That is in my Twitter bio. And then after that, I mean, it is game, dude. We have a lot of fun stuff coming to this thing.
Yeah, I think that's right. Speaking of, look at those manly hairy guns Hunter is rocking. Adrian, good to see you. You continue to have the strangest fucking comments. I don't know what to say, man. Last week I gained weight. Now I got hairy guns. Like, dude, I need you to calm down still.
I feel like he's just kind of looking you up and down all stream,
Dude, he is, man. He's analyzing. I feel like I need to shrink behind my desk like this, just
which, by the way, compliments to the setup is coming together over there. All right, we've seen kind of the growth story of the new office, the Outpost, the new office in Chicago, which I'm going to head out to in probably the next month, and it looks good. You got some lights, you got some is that an encyclopedia maybe?
Where?
What's right behind your head?
Which one? Which way?
Yeah, this one.
This one?
This one. Yeah,
this one?
No,
dude, no. This is my work louder. This is my Nomad E. I had to represent.
Oh, you got to get a better display case for that. You have it sitting flat,
bro. This is like a $250 keyboard. What do you want me to do with it? I'm not.
I want some I want you to treat these things like. Oh,
no, dude, this is the one. Look at that. You see that? Here we go. Let's put the camera on the. There we go. Yeah, there we go. This one gets a display case. All right. The Nomad E, I enjoy. What is that?
My posters came in from Perplexity Supply.
How much are they paying you?
Dude, this is what happens. If you're a brand and you make dope shit, I want to associate with your dope shit, because one of the biggest things I think certain people really enjoy are things that scream, hey, that's pretty good taste. And I think Perplexity has done a really good job. I want to wear my kids have Perplexity shirts. I bought a size that was too small. I'm like, hey, do you want this? And they're like, hell yeah, that's cool. And they put it on, and anyway, if you make really great merch, you could be a software company, and that's fine. Vercel was collabing with Kid Super at one point. Yep. I think that's a flex, and I love it. So I got 2 posters. I'm putting these bad boys up on somewhere back here.
Yeah, I love it. Josh Miller. What's going on, brother? Nice. I don't know what we're saying nice to, but yeah, nice.
Nice.
Adrian, my wife hearing Hunter, dude, you need to stop. You'll make these guys think you're a weirdo. It is like 10 episodes too late for that.
Yeah, we're past that.
we're way past that. We have chalked you up to a strange tracksuit wearing, chain smoking Eastern European.
Go to merch.perplexity.com. What is enter code Tommy for 20%? That is not the URL, by the way.
Does Bolt have cool merchandise?
So Bolt sent me a sweater. It was gray. It says Bolt on it. It's kind of too loose. I'm wearing a little bit looser, but it's too big, and gray's kind of a lame color. So no, not yet. Not that I've seen. Bolt, if you get something dope, let me know. But that sweater you sent me, I appreciate it. I'm not gonna wear it. It's kind of lame.
Ready Designer One said, make a trophy or badass digital belt for the champ, a bit like BMF title in UFC for Masvidal and Nate Diaz. Here's my
Yeah.
question: is $25,000 not enough? Is that wire transfer screenshot not enough? We got to spend even more fucking money on this. What do you want from us?
But I want to call it out. Like, guys, truly, this is what's so exciting to me that I freaking bamboozled Hunter to put up for this. But let's be clear. Hunter's putting up the coin for this. It's not me. But you know, he'll get his back. And I am so excited about that because here's what we get to do. We are bringing in someone from the community to help us produce the show on the background. So we get to pay that person. And we're bringing in some judges who are sick. I think Tom Johnson was great. I'd love to have him back, but there's all kinds of people I'd love to have on this. Then we get to pay the contestants who like this is what I'm talking about when I say I want to create like a community-based thing that just gives back. And that's super cool to me. So for those of you guys who are like, do more, give us a second. We're trying. We were trying. I can only talk Hunter into so much money. All right. Let's celebrate the dub.
As we just said, this is like an hour old. Okay. You're seeing us process the fallout of what we've said we're going to do live on this show. How to enter the build war. We might open this up to applications just to see if all right, let's talk about this real quick.
Nominations. I want nominations in chat right now. Nominations.
So here's our mid-episode ad roll. Here we go. We need you to be a friend of the show. Retweet the show, the live stream that you're currently watching. Retweet it, YouTube it, whatever the hell it is, and tag the designer that you think should be nominated. So basically, what I want to see,
or judging,
I want to see everybody just go on Twitter and tag Fonzmans. That's it. I just want Fonz to think, oh shit. I'm going to text Fonz right now. Let's see here. I'm going to do a voice note so everybody knows what I say. Fonzmans. Tommy, I'm going to put you on this too.
Let's do it.
All right, here we go. Let's just call Fonz out. Fonz, the world wants you to be the framer champion to go head-to-head for Bolt. $25,000 if you win. What say you, sir? Let's see what Fonz says. I don't think Fonz is going to do it. I think he's too introverted. I don't think he's going to do it.
Yeah. Listen, it's a sweaty activity. Like you got to put on some extra deodorant on that day. You really do. And on top of that, electricity issues out there in Europe, I think.
Yeah, that's true. I don't think we're Fonz is. I don't think.
No, I don't know all the areas. I just saw little things here and there. Brett says, no way Fonz does it. No way.
The 25,000 prize to either Brett or Bolt CEO feels like adding a glass of water to the pond. So Eric, Bolt CEO, has said if he wins, he's going to give the 25K to somebody from the Bolt community that's building dope stuff on Bolt. As far as Brett goes, Brett's probably going to buy another Corvette. I don't really know. But it doesn't sound like Brett is interested. Let's see here. Damien, shout out Damien. What's going on, buddy? Create brackets like in a FIFA tournament. We're going to get to that in 1 second. We've heard that a lot. We're going to talk about that. Jacob says MDS, Tobias, Van Schneider, Rid, Femke. Is it Femke or Femke?
It's Femke, yeah. And hey, I'm hosting the party with Femke and Soren and Jesse Showalter. So these are all potential. You know
who I don't want to see do this? I don't want to see Soren do this.
I meant judging.
I know, but just in general, I don't want Soren to be a champion.
He's so tall and he'd be on stream just like this.
You just see his chin. His chin and a mustache. That's all you see.
And you just see like the jaw moving as he talks a little bit, and that's it. Mm-hmm. Can Bolt even make Japanese gradients?
Oh, hold on. Got to have Devin as a judge, even if it's purely for commentary. Or I assume you're referring to Devin Fountain. That's too unhinged. We can't do that.
This is a family
Lee Black, Fonz from the Netherlands.
Yes.
We're aware.
Yes.
Thank you, Lee. Hold on, Lee. What's the URL to your 8Ball site, real quick? Will you type that in the chat for me?
Lee gave a little like paying attention, by the way, in the tweet that I made about this contest. So Lee, I don't know what you're suggesting over there, but I think Lee would do work in this contest.
Aside from the contenders, let the challenge be open so other designers can enter and share. I don't know what that means,
Say more.
given that you said aside from the contenders. So please elaborate.
Yeah.
Can Bolt even make Japanese gradients? Yeah, I'm sure it can. Just copy paste the Nuevo Tokyo URL and say copy this. You're good to go. Kyle says I nominate Lee Black. Lee would be a threat, man.
He really would actually, but it's different. It's different. This is the thing people don't understand. You can take a sick designer or builder, but you're putting them in this condensed, ridiculous challenge. Like there's no world where this is how anything gets done. How do they operate there? Right. And that's the part that's sweaty, because it's like, you got to build a whole landing page in 1 hour in front of, thousands of people. That's a different prospect, than like playing some classical music and enjoying the process of creating something sick. So just keep that in mind.
This is a cool idea from Tom. I like this. Would be cool to have the main tournament and then allow other people to submit their own designs during the same time frame. Community prize. The context here. So Tom was a judge on the last Build Wars. The context here is that going into the competition, the contestants do not know what the challenge is. That's how we keep it fresh. So we actually give them the prompt for the challenge. Last time it was an hour in advance. This time it's going to be closer to 30 minutes. We'll probably refine that, but talk about why that is. The reason here is that once we give that prompt to them, we do it publicly. So the community could get the prompt at the same time and use the same time frame for a community prize. That's pretty sick. I like that. Maybe that's a good way to win a belt, right? I think that could be cool.
I think a whole leaderboard, like I think turning buildwars.gg into a fun side game on this thing would be actually really neat, and we could vibe code that.
I like that too. Devin says, I've done it. It's nerve-wracking. Good luck to anyone who does it. But Devin,
yeah.
Did you do it for $25,000?
Did you do it for 25K? Man, Dan Mall wiped the floor with me. I'm still a little bitter about that, guys. Just want to call that out. I'm a little bitter about the Dan Mall beating I took a couple years ago.
I think we all knew it was coming.
Oh, stop it.
Damien says, maybe create a fictional brand and product where everyone can vote and winner takes it all.
Well, that's what we do.
That's what we do. That's how the
challenge. Yeah.
Tom said, give a pool of talent for future Build Wars. Yes, for the community submissions. Yeah, I see what you're saying.
So that's actually interesting. So hold on. I don't know if he was saying this, but this kind of spin-off idea that's coming up of like a community participation thing. And I want to be clear, we got to be careful about this. Me personally, I think like, hey, if we're asking people to potentially submit this stuff, like we want to pay you guys. We are limited. Like we're learning this. And so don't get mad. We're trying to figure out what's the best way to do this. But imagine the first couple of contestants, we do have to kind of lean into, we want this show to be successful. So we want to find people who are both talented designers who can maybe help us with a little bit of the reach initially. But there's plenty of sick designers who might not have the reach. Imagine a community pool of people competing. There's maybe a very small cash prize involved in that. But as you win in the community side, that gets you into the nomination circle for the main thing. I don't know if we're getting too crazy in that idea, but that seems like that could be fun.
Bolt made Japanese gradients. I unfortunately can't click this link, so I'm gonna have to type it in.
Oh, you suck. I was building that on the side right now.
Is it .netlify.app? Let's see. Nope.
Let's look.
I don't
Japanese gradients.netlify.app.
Oh, I didn't add the E to Japanese. Whoopsies. There we go. Wow. Okay. Sharing my screen now. Josh Miller just proved it. Josh, you're going to go to gradient jail for copying these, bro.
Those are not Japanese gradients, by the way.
They're whatever Josh and Bolt want them to be.
All I'm saying
did you just screenshot this in Bolt? Because this is sick.
That is pretty good. Like Bolt's UI.
I would love to see a gradient. Like, roster like this.
You want a gradient roster?
Roster, shit. Yeah, sure. A roster of gradients. Yeah, you know what I mean.
You don't mean that.
I don't know what I'm trying to say. Okay, I'm reading chat.
Tuesdays, by the way, ladies and gentlemen, our little bit of an engagement day. We like to just hang out with you. We'll talk about some things. Get used to Tuesdays being more unhinged than Fridays, for sure.
Today is for the community. Fridays, we honestly Fridays we have an agenda. All right. Thomas says they don't look very Japanese to me. Thomas, calm down, sir. Designers are cooked. It's so over. Ethan, it is time to apply at McDonald's. All right, let's get back to the show here. So let's talk about this real quick. So there is the challenge of 1v1, and then there's the challenge of the bracket style single elimination, right?
What do you mean the challenge?
Well, we can do 1v1, so expert head to head, which is probably what this one's going to be, right? And then we can also do more of a bracket style tournament to where we take, let's say, 16 people from the community, and we work our way through the bracket to get a true winner. Not too dissimilar from, I believe, what Josh Lowe was doing with
the arena. Yeah. Josh Lowe, hopefully, by the way, I don't want to spit. Josh Lowe, fantastic member in the community. We'll be very fortunate if he can help us produce a couple episodes. We'll see what's going on with that. Sorry, I'm giving away too much information. I got to wait. I got to slow down.
Yeah, I mean, I'm seeing all these comments in chat right now, and people really love the community bracket. There's a lot of attention on the community bracket, lots of hype here. So I'm curious, how many people would want to be involved in that, right? So are we thinking it's 32? Are we thinking it's 16? How big does that bracket start?
Yeah, and shortened so it's easier to type. Have you guys heard of Hostinger? Your thoughts on it? Is Hostinger an unrelated topic? What is that?
I don't even know what you're talking about.
I'm reading a comment here. But to the question of who would participate in the community, I don't know what to call it, the community bracket. Oh, man, that's a good idea. I actually really, really like that idea.
How does it work, though? Because my concern with that is that it's not going to, people just aren't going to want to watch. It's just too much. People are just going to get bored.
Is it a side quest that's happening and then we vote on it in like so you have Build War Day, which is main event day. And then, and during the Build War Day, we have to give some time limit to this. And I don't know what the time limit is, if it, because I want people to be able to enjoy the show and not have to be building while we're doing it. So I don't, but then we do like a community judging panel on one of the other shows, on one of the other streams, and that's its own thing. Are we getting too crazy?
I don't think so. I like it. I like what you're saying.
Guys, I love this. Like, I think it's super cool to just be like, we're having build games. Like, dude, I don't know. I would have loved that.
What I want to know, though, like build games. Okay, build games. Here's what I want to know. Brett, are you still here? If you are, drop a W in the chat, please. Because I have a question. Okay. I actually really like this idea of just a fun sporting event of Brett versus Eric, but swapping the tools. I don't even know that money needs to be on the line because you take all the pressure off of it, right? Maybe there's some money on the line there. But I actually really enjoyed that idea. I like the idea of seeing the kind of humorous calamity that would ensue. Now, that's not a replacement for Build Wars, what we're talking about right now. I want to see if we can do this as like extra icing on the cake. That would be pretty sick.
Lee says, break it down into parts. So a header round 1, a footer round 2, content round 3, publishing in the final. That's interesting, actually.
Is it, though? That would take forever. That would take forever. I see what Lee's saying as a practitioner, but in terms of entertainment value, like this is the Coliseum, baby. You know?
There's an element of like it has to be good TV. And I think that's going to rub some designers the wrong way. They're like, "Oh, this is cheap reality." Like, yes, there's nothing about this contest that simulates the real world. And I don't know how loud we have to be on that front. But I think like someone said, get Aaron Draplin in there. Sick designer. More
No.
branding logo face, which I think actually I would love to see somebody like Tatiana from Perplexity go up against somebody else, like two kind of branding folks or somebody from the Perplexity brand team. I think that'd
Yeah.
be interesting, you know? Um, yeah, I don't know. I there's a lot of ideas around it, but I don't know that we can do the breaking into parts.
Dude, I still want to see Nick Pattinson.
So actually, an idea I had, and I don't know if like Nick would be into this, and Brett, I think has basically anyone doing fast quality work, right? Nick with his 1-2 week design sprint for branding, which I was the benefactor of. We hired Nick for UX tools, and it was fire.
It's
I
good.
would love to see two people in that kind of category, and maybe this is something separate because I don't think you do it in like an hour, but like I'd love to see like bring two 1 week sprinters in and
Mhm.
compare and do like a judgment on that. That would be pretty interesting because I do think it's really interesting, and I come from a background constantly beating the drum that you can do very high quality design work in very compressed timelines, and I think there's a
Uh-oh.
lot of designers.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
I do it in a heartbeat.
Brett is back on his soapbox.
Oh,
Nick versus Brett. That is
yeah.
that's a different thing, but I would actually love to see that. Um, I would love to see that. Yeah, that would
Someone
be
tag Nick. Just go
enjoyable.
tag Nick, you know?
Just somebody, you know, go ahead and retweet the show, call Nick out, say
Yeah.
Brett's calling you out, money on the line. Fuck it, Tommy. What you know what? If we're doing 25K once, what's another prize pool? You know,
Well,
we can
so
do it.
that's the thing, right? Prove this out and allow us to continue to do these prize pools for every one of these rounds. That is awesome. That to me, like I would die of like feeling like I contributed to something cool if we did that.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
I'd
Brett
do it
says he
for
literally
free.
called me out to do it, then flaked out. I would do it for free.
Only say it
Man,
if you mean it.
if
Only
I
say it
was
if you
Nick
mean it.
Pattinson, I would be taking this challenge. I'm just being
Well,
straight
I'm
up
not
with
going to
you.
put too much weight on it right now, but I would love to see that. I would love to
I mean,
see that.
I'm still feeling a little burned by Brett. I thought Brett was gonna, I thought Brett was gonna defend the belt, but apparently 25K is not enough.
I think we've got a lot of interesting potential matchups. I want to see some motion tools go at it together. I want to see like Gary Simon using, I don't know, Rive or Good using Rive against, like Ben Frick or something. Like, like there would be some fun stuff to see, some compressed 45, 60-minute motion challenge. That would be cool.
I like that. I think that would be cool too. I want to take a quick detour, real quick.
Yes,
We
sir.
talked about this the other week. Nick Huber, who's going to get to pick the name of my next child? We talked about his book. I think I have it here somewhere. We talked about the Sweaty Startup, which I believe came out today, and how for such a smart guy who has a really bad rep on the internet, this is kind of to be honest with you, maybe not the best book launch in the world.
Let's see the book here. I'm going to pull you up. Let's look at that cover again.
Compared to Sahil Bloom, Sahil's book launch was off the charts. This is what Nick's got going on. But the book comes out today. I have actually flipped through here, and there's some really smart stuff in here. I know Nick personally. I think he's a super sweet guy. He's super smart. There's some really good stuff in here. It is worth a read. Definitely do not judge this book by the cover, but that's not the point. The point here is that, well, you can name his child if you buy 5,000 books, and
No
we have the
way.
opportunity to do the funniest thing ever. You also, if you buy, I think it's if you buy 75 copies of the book, you can come to Athens, Georgia, and we'll play a round of golf at Athens Country Club. Beer and round on me, etc., etc. Here's what I want to know. I'm going to pull this up. Amazon.com. The Sweaty Startup.
Okay.
Nick Huber. Okay, let's see here. It is hardcover is $28.80. So 28.80 times 75. So for $2,160, you can go play golf, which is about 4.5 hours plus beer. So let's call it 5-6 hours with Nick. I will sell you his phone number for half that. How about that? Give me $1,000. I'll give you his phone number.
I'm beginning to understand where you got the 25K from. You and Nick made a deal to shill the book today, didn't you?
Yeah. He said I can sell his phone number for $1,000 that I give him.
So I have a question for you, because Nick Huber is his marketing, like Nick is basically Brett on the internet. I think they have very similar antagonistic, or Brett once had antagonistic marketing strategies. Nick leans into that. But then we meet Brett, we get to know Brett, become friends, realize Brett's actually like way more rational and cool than this antagonistic marketing personality. I'm assuming Nick's got to be the same way.
Yes, Nick's a great guy. Nick's a great guy. I've spent time with his family. They have a farm in Indiana, not too far from my house in Kentucky. So I've had dinner with him and his family. Have spent time with him and his wife multiple times. Super sweet guy. Yeah, super sweet guy. Hardworking entrepreneur. But definitely gets a lot of amusement out of the viral engagement bait on the internet, which
I think
isn't necessarily playing out the best, I think, for the book sales, but I don't know. Huber is what Devin Fountain says. So for the low price of $140,000, we can name Nick Huber's next child, Huber, which reminds me of Major from Catch 22, which is hilarious. Have you seen that show? The character's name is Major. And everybody's confused by it. And he's like, oh, my dad named me Major because, whatever. And so a colonel is like, yo, where's Major? We need you in an O-level briefing. And he's like, sorry, sir, I'm a sergeant. And the colonel is like, we can't have a sergeant in this meeting. And then the dude's like, well, we're going to just have to promote you. And so he just promotes him to Major. So then he becomes Major. This is pretty funny. Adrian says, if they go towards this bracket idea, it'll be an amazing opportunity for someone to get a lot of client work. I hope so. We're going to
Nick posted, he was like, hey, which one of these book covers? I think there was a tweet and we talked a little bit about it last week. He was like combining, and listen, the book, that design is not my favorite. That's a nice way of putting it. But speaking of designs, did you see what Windsurf did?
Dude, let's get into that right now.
Yeah. So Windsurf, new logo, takes inspiration from waves, vibes, and flow state. What do you guys think? Garbage. I fucking hate this logo so much, guys. And I'm sorry. I love you, Windsurf. My kids use your product. I use your product.
I disagree with you so much.
Man,
this was so much. No. Look, all love to Nick Pattinson. I love Nick. Nick, what I'm about to say has nothing to do with you. I do not like Lovable's brand at all. I love this. I think this is awesome. I saw it updated in my app icon yesterday, and I was like, what the hell happened? I fucking love this. I love this brand. I think it's really class, man. I think it's really class.
I was harsh. I said garbage, but it's okay. I don't know, man. It's a little like the type, by the way. Dig that.
Yeah.
Waves and vibes in flow state.
Yeah, I like it, dude. I like it. And I disagree with you for disliking it. We're kind of taking opposite sides of Notion right now. That's what's happening.
Which, yeah, Notion was making me upset yesterday. I want to let you know. What did Devin say here? Tommy, but have you seen Never Sit Dull's sound rendition of it? I don't know what that means. Hi, Tommy. I'm a product designer with 1+ year experience. Can you suggest me what I should master and what fundamental to learn first?
Go master bolt.dev. Apparently that's the answer.
Bolt.dev?
Bolt.new, excuse me. I said bolt.dev.
Jesus.
Bolt.new. I'm horrible. Wait, hold on. Does bolt.dev redirect to bolt.new? I hope it does. Oh, it doesn't.
That's a good question.
Bolt.new. Master everything. I don't know. I like the icon, but I don't like the typography, Anton says. Anton.
Hold on, I want to give him a real answer real quick.
You're wrong.
It's Tuesday.
You're
It's
wrong.
interact with the folks today. And so what I'll tell you, all right, I appreciate this question. Play with the tools this year. All right. You're going to see a lot of information on the internet. You're going to see a lot of folks saying, do this, do that, learn this. You need to learn that. The truth is, in 2025, there's a lot of trying to figure out where things are going. We don't know yet. I'm about to release the UX Tools survey, which gives a lot of insight about what tools are currently being used. Figma is still over 80% across most companies, so that is still very much a great tool to learn. Aside from the fundamentals, the most important part of software design, right? And there's lots of great information out there on that. Just play with the tools. If you're brand new, open a tool and just have fun. Enjoy, block time off on the weekends to just experiment and play. One of the biggest things I think any beginner can do.
Agreed. Grok,
and I've been hearing this, by the way. All right. Oh, that's not the Grok algo. Oh no, I didn't have it pulled up. Did you hear about this Grok?
No.
Yeah. So Grok is apparently, oh man, a much improved Grok-powered algorithm is coming. Should help a lot. Now, here's the thing that bugs me. I don't really use
for
Grok
X.
For X. And so I don't know what a Grok-powered algorithm is, but can I please use Grok to find and summarize tweets?
Like, you can.
I mean, no, but like if I go to Grok right now and I'm like, hey, what happened with Build Wars? Give me like a full breakdown. I feel like Grok should be one of the best ways to pull a timeline of tweets and things happening around a topic. And it seems like, at least my experience when I've tried this, not very good. Not very good considering it's native to the platform.
I mean,
you have no thoughts on this. You care so little about this one.
I care so little because here's the deal. I'm just still extremely frustrated with X lately. The way that the algorithm has been optimized right now is just leading to the lowest quality content in the world. Let's actually look at this. I'm just going to share my Twitter here. I'm going to share my screen. Let's go ahead and do this. So we're on my screen now, and I'm going to go through my For You tab. Now, granted, I never interact with anything on For You, right? Okay, why am I seeing this? I've spent so much time going and saying not interested, right? I moved on and life got better. Stupid. Not interested. Not interested. Like, it is absolutely awful. Like, why am I seeing this? Like, I don't want any of this. And the quality content that used to be here, like I would say 3 to 4 months ago, my For You tab was money. It was so good. I saw so much great creative work. And now it's just nonsense. And why am I seeing this? Like, it frustrates the hell out of me. And things that used to get like really instant adoption, like we tweeted this morning about $25,000, 25 grand. Like 6 months ago, that would have had 100,000 views and tons of engagement by now. It's already got 11 retweets, and still the views are quite low. Yeah. It's really bad right now, man. Really bad.
How the mighty.
You know what it makes me want to do? It makes me want to go to LinkedIn.
So my thoughts on this. So I've been on all platforms. Devin's asking. Oh no, I'm sorry, not Devin. I don't know why I thought that was Devin, but asking if we are on Blue Sky. Well, I'm not. No. not for any like principled reason other than I'm on X, I'm on LinkedIn, Instagram, TikTok, Threads, YouTube. I'm everywhere. And every time I add a new social network to like the list of things I want to distribute on, it is a lot of work, guys. It is a lot of work. So I'm trying to just hang out. I really like X anyway. Like if you ask me where do I like to hang out, it's the platform where I have like no followers, right? And it's X because I enjoy it so much. The people I've met on X, it's the best community for AI building and designers that I've come across so far. Instagram's pretty good. LinkedIn's a lot of like people working the job, and there's some great community on there. Don't relate with it as much lately.
I like the joke of like open LinkedIn, close LinkedIn. I
Well,
think it's just so much nonsense, but it does have a better algorithm right now. I'm cheating. I'm posting this over to LinkedIn right now. Just posting LinkedIn, just see what happens. I'm gonna do a little experiment.
okay, okay. And while you're doing that experiment, so this was announced, I think, last week or so, that it's come out that OpenAI is potentially working on a consumer product or a social network. I've got to imagine this is consumer based. And I'm trying to think about what that means because, and I can't remember who said it recently, but I thought I read a pretty decent take. You know, B2B or productivity tools that try to get into the consumer kind of social game, we haven't
Yep.
seen examples of that work, right? We saw Google Plus, who by all means should have been poised to take on Facebook, right? Google Plus, like it seemed like they had all the ingredients, everyone used them, all the traffic, but I think it's a bridge too far to expect people using your tool for productivity to like move over and be like, I'm going to consume content on this platform now. You think OpenAI is going to have the same problem, or do you think it's going to be different?
I don't want to bet against Sam Altman at all. We've been over this, right? Like,
Old Samuel?
yeah, like I'm gonna pull this up one more time. Let's just go ahead for the audience. Let's share this one more time. Ladies and gentlemen, Paul Graham himself. Paul Graham said, Sam is extremely good at becoming powerful. Sam Altman has it. You could parachute him into an island full of cannibals and come back in 5 years and he'd be the king. Like, I'm not betting against that guy. If you're telling me that a guy that has no problems becoming powerful can take what's arguably the greatest AI system on planet Earth and build a great social network off of it, whatever that means, I don't doubt it. I mean, look at how, like, have you asked ChatGPT, as you're going and talking to ChatGPT, have you said, hey, what questions do you have for me? Like, what context can I help provide you so you can help me better? Have you done that?
Oh yeah, yeah, tons. Like in fact, I bake that into a lot of my prompts, which is like I need you to figure out some clarifying questions, and I expect some good ones.
Exactly, right? And so you're already actively asking their systems, hey, how can I tell you more about me? Whereas Facebook and everybody else is trying to extract that information based on your actions. You're trying to say, well, he uploaded this photo, he interacted with this person, we saw him visit this site with a pixel, whatever it is. They're trying to work hard to learn more about you. Whereas you're
Right.
literally asking ChatGPT, what more can I give you? Right? I don't doubt that they could do it successfully.
Now here's my thing. What is I want to know, and this has only been kind of leaked and rumored, right? OpenAI has not come out and messaged anything about this yet, to my knowledge. And so the question I have is, what's the value prop of this thing? Like, why would I join OpenAI's social network? Because it kind of, at least the limited we know, kind of just feels like they're like, man, we really need a social network. It would be so much more user data if we could just build Reddit. And so I'm like, okay, but like, what are you guys actually doing? Like look at Dig. Dig's trying to build this community thing. I'm trying to mess with Dig, and I love Kevin Rose, Alexis Ohanian. And as I'm like playing with the early access of Dig, I'm just like, another fucking social network, man. another thing I have to invest time into, another culture I have to kind of learn and help shape. And it's at this point more social networks. People are talking about like Truth Social on here. All these different. I've always thought we were going to get more and more micro networks. I have thought that that would be the case. I'm like, why? What reason could I potentially have for wanting to add yet another social network to my pool of social networks?
Yeah.
You know, so I don't know what it's going to
I
do for
know.
me. Um,
I don't know. I don't know, man. I don't know what it would be like.
but
It's
speaking of which, by the way, did you hear about this? Now, this is interesting, and I kind of want to dig into the little bit of the conspiracy here. I don't know. The account is called Reddit Lies, so take this for what it's worth. Breaking, they say, the University of Zurich, is it pronounced Zurich? Has been
Zerk.
using Zerk AI bots to secretly manipulate Redditors since November 2024. And this is where we're seeing AI start to jump into the social networks. And there's been talk about like what is it, the dead internet theory or something like that.
Yep. Yep.
So supposedly there's some evidence in here. I've read a little bit of this, but they're finding that, you know, AI bots being generated would go in and then pull the search history or view the post history of the people who they were trying to influence, and then like craft a really personalized response to that person. And they noticed that through this experiment, every time this was happening, these bots were getting awarded with the different types of Reddit medals and all the things that you can do there, and that like people's minds would change. Kind of an interesting little thing. Do we want OpenAI to have a social network, you know? Or this is just kind of the future, isn't it? This is just kind of one of the costs of doing business we're going to have to deal with.
Dude, yeah. I mean, I don't think want has much to do with it, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it's just gonna come and we're gonna have nothing to do with about it. Devin's calling you out though. He said, Tommy, you literally just started a Discord.
I did start a Discord, but let's be clear. What is the Discord? Discord is a text. It literally. Can I show you guys this? I'm going to share this. All right, because the Discord is not interesting in the way a social community is. It's like a text thread with the homies. We have one channel. And it doesn't even have a good name. It's just the default name for Discord channels called Text Chat. I don't want to hear it from you, Devin. You're the most active person in that group.
Are you telling me that you're not original in your Discord? You don't have like cool custom emojis and all that stuff?
No. I don't care about that. Like, I mean, listen, I like that's cool in a Slack and whatever. You know what's so cool about this is I saw multiple people. I woke up one day and in the Discord, everyone in there, designers and builders, were just chatting about analog MIDIs and music making and sharing their whole process. Lee Black's in there sharing his whole process. And I'm like, dude, this is so cool, man. Like this to me is old school internet. That's what I miss. Yeah. That's what I miss. I don't want all the damn emojis and custom things and all that. I kind of just want to hang out with like, the homies.
That's what we're doing now, man. That's what we're doing now.
Yeah.
Sorry, while we've been sitting here on the show, I'm just gonna be honest. I'm not paying any attention. I'm building something in Bolt right now since we're talking about it, and I am flabbergasted at how easy this is for me right now. I'm not gonna share it yet. It's certainly cooler than Gradients, but this is sick. I'm trying to be productive, man. I'm trying to host the show and build something useful at the same time, like a wild person.
Is this what they're talking about? The $1 million per employee situation? You're hosting a podcast while a piece of software, which by the way, I know we're joking, but that's also kind of an insane thing to just say out loud, and it's actually happening.
It's actually happening. Yeah. It is insane. Yes.
Yeah. Because I'm also, while we're talking, building a Bolt app here. Let me show you actually what I'm building, because this is for config. All right. And I think I talked about this briefly. But I had, wow, that's the camera on my MacBook, it seems. So I had this problem when I went to config last year. And it was that I met so many people. No one knows who I am in like the normie public, but I go to an event like config and I get a lot of photo requests and it's really cool and I have great conversations. And I have a bad memory and I'm afraid I'm going to forget people. And so I want to take photos with an app. And as soon as we take a photo, boom. I swear to God, it was working. And the idea here,
You
I
messed it
know,
up.
I know. But the idea here is that once we do this, I take a photo, my little drawer pops up, name or like username, a fun little fact, and then I submit it. The other part of
Mhm.
the app, once I'm done with this, and by the way, I've spent maybe 10 minutes on this thing, but the other part of the app that receives the image is just an infinite canvas corkboard type situation. And I want to just like almost like Polaroids being sticky to this digital corkboard with their
Mhm. That's
username,
cool.
our photo, and some, some fun fact thing. That to me is a really fun thing that I want to try. Let's look and see. All right, boom. Okay. Okay. We'll get there, guys. We'll get there. Um, that's my project that I'm trying to build in the next 6 days because config is in fact something like 6 days away or so.
Dude, we got some news. We got some news real quick.
Uh-oh.
There it
Oh
is.
no.
Brett just tweeted 10 minutes ago, "Yo Nick, I'll bite. You get 2 weeks to design a brand. I get a day. Public votes without knowing which design is whose and see who wins. Let's do it for fun." This is in response to Nick's tweet from April 2nd of last year. Oh, I like this. Let's see if Brett bites on my invite to go head to head on a brand. He gets 2 weeks. Here's my problem with this, man. How do we go from 50,000 to fight Bolt to 25,000 guaranteed if you win to fight Bolt to now, you know what? I don't want to fight Bolt, even though I beat Lovable. I don't want to fight Bolt, but you know what, Nick? I'll fight you for free.
Is
I feels like
I,
that almost
well,
feels
I have
like
a
personal
question.
levels of beef right there.
I have a question. Well, and maybe it's that. I have but also I have a question for Brett, which is it is the appeal? Is it more appealing not having to do it live, right? Like the fact that you can kind of go away and
Mm,
come back and present versus like you've got 1 hour and you're sweating over it. I'm curious if that's the case. Do it for a real company that actually needs a brand. Don't make it fake. See, here's the thing. Great idea. Great idea. As I'm learning with the show that I'm producing, getting clients to bite on something like that is another element of complexity to these things. Because it's not just like we're going to do this for the client. It's like, is the client okay with that? Like, are they okay with their work being shown? Because a lot of people don't want their stuff being shown until like it's finished and ready to announce to the public.
yep.
So there are challenges, but it's a good
Yep.
idea. I like it. Rebrand Lovable. I mean, listen, Nick just did,
Brett said obviously. So yeah, I
obviously.
think there's
All right.
some bite there. I don't think you get it. Kyle's saying rebrand Lovable because Kyle was also saying that he doesn't like the Lovable brand. Should I cancel my Lovable subscription and change to Bolt? This is a good question. Um, my answer is yes. Uh, I've been testing them both. I really enjoy Bolt, to be honest with you. It's just been a lot easier for me, and frankly, I'm interested in a company that has a track record and is going to stick around and isn't doing the same. Like, here's my problem with Lovable. I'm gonna call this out right now. My problem with Lovable is that you have the CEO of Lovable saying Figma is dead, design is dead, and then we bring the head of design from Lovable on the fucking show, and he's like, "Oh yeah, we design Lovable in Figma." So, you know what I mean? Like, I just can't get into that like pure hype marketing. It's like, where's the meat, dude? Like, can we be a little bit more grounded? Can we tell the truth? I don't like when people try and turn everything into a marketing story, even if it's far from reality.
So these are my thoughts. Now, January 2025, it might have been February. I'm having a conversation with Rid, the host of Dive Club, and we're talking about this. We're talking about Lovable versus Bolts. And at the time, V0 was kind of like the cool kid at the time, and Bolts also. So Bolts because Bolt was like fantastic on UI side. Lovable was quiet, or like it wasn't getting the same kind of hype. But I found it and I checked it out, and at the time, my experience was that Lovable's UI generation, which in my opinion was one of the bigger lacking features of all the tools that we were playing with, was way
Mhm.
better.
Mhm.
And it's like every 2 weeks you started to see improvements on all ends. And now it's like it's people are starting it's almost like feature parity is essentially there on some of the core things. And now these companies, these tools are having to pick their differentiation lanes. What is it going to be? And I have been way more impressed with two things with Bolt recently. How they're approaching that, some of that differentiation. I really like, to be fair, I haven't checked out Lovable 2.0 yet, but I really like the new direction or the improvements Bolt recently released.
Mhm.
And I like the way their marketing team moves, to your point, right? Henrik, I think you've got Henrik, the unicycling champion, by the way, 19-year-old unicycling champion who came and represented and was kind of taking an agitator's approach to marketing. Let's agitate these people. Let's have some drama. Let's kickstart drama. I get the drama. I totally can understand it. It's the Nick Huber approach, it's the Brett approach, but it's not really the way I like to move. And if you're a company, I kind of want you to move a little bit cooler. And I think Bolt does a pretty good job of that. Bolt doing a full, Bolt going and doing these activities at Config, Bolt coming in and throwing $1 million hackathon, Bolt coming in and getting involved in a sportsmanlike way in a build war. That's not just like, and them saying, hey, if we win this thing, we're going to give it back to the builders in our community. Like, that's when I start to sing your praises. That's when I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, you get it. Oh, you're
Yeah.
partnering with Contra. Like, and I posted a tweet today and I said, out software company and apparel company collabs,
Yep.
in
Yep.
software company and software company collabs. You're seeing Framer and Contra. They have like growth strategies in their product for each other. It's
Yep.
crazy to me. And
I
you're seeing
I
Bolt
love
do the
that.
same
Yeah.
thing. You're seeing Bolt do
Yep.
the same thing. That to me says, oh, those are like, that's innovation. Like, that's not just innovation in product, that's innovation in marketing, that's innovation in how you're thinking about community. I'm going to bet on those companies every time.
Yep. I agree. I want to catch up with chat real quick. Manny says how to keep up with all the new design trends and AI.
Follow
That's what this show is.
uxtools.co and follow release notes.
And Today in Design. Come on, man. Today
Yeah,
in dot design.
right.
Brett says, to be fair, Lovable didn't say Figma was dead. That was the other goofball you've had on your show. Lovable said Webflow is dead. Incorrect, actually. You're the goofball you're referring to is Pietro Sciarrano, who's far from a goofball, I might say. Pietro's awesome. The design tool that Pietro has built, which can we share the news on that yet? Can we share the news
So
on
I leaked something about that, and I can show just a quick screen. Give me a second. Continue talking, and I'll pull it up for us.
Okay, we'll let you pull that up. But what I was going to say, let me just pull this up because I keep this one right here. Um, Anton, founder of Lovable. Wait, Lovable just made Figma obsolete already 1 month ago. This was from February the 23rd. So he's saying that they made Figma obsolete in January, but yet they're still using Figma to design Lovable. So this is my thing. It's just like this level of misleading your audience or your potential customers, being like, hey, guess what? You don't need Figma. It's obsolete because of Lovable, but then the Lovable team is still using Figma to design Lovable. That stuff just rubs me the wrong way. But yes, I know the tweet that you're referring to in terms of Pietro saying that Figma is dead, which obviously that also is like kind of not true. But he's built something pretty cool. I will give him that.
So I want to say two things. I believe this Friday we do have Stephen joining us from Paper. And I've talked about this because we have both seen Paper, we have seen Pietro's tool, and we have to be quiet because we're not allowed to talk a lot about these. But I will say there's some of the more exciting things coming in the design tooling space, in my mind. I'm excited to see them in actual practice, but from what I've seen, they're sick. Here's a tiny little glimpse that I have been authorized to share, and I can't do a whole lot more than this, but this is Pietro's tool. And what you're looking at here is a very standard infinite canvas like we see in Figma. Every single one of these, which are duplicates of full coded functional apps that just like an artboard, you could copy over and you could start iterating a full app across multiple canvases here. And I want to tell you that the code quality that Hunter and I were privy to was the best I've seen to date. The
Yeah, it's
absolute
pretty
best
good.
I've seen to date. That's all I can say. Stand by.
Yeah. My favorite is your ability to have an artboard and then be like, hey, will you actually remix this in 3 different styles? You can direct it. You can say like this, like give me style A, style B, style C, or you can just say like just take a shot at it. Seeing that rapid iteration with the original direction is pretty cool.
And
I
it's
think
kind
it's
of
pretty neat.
interesting. I'm curious in those situations, how Git or version control gets involved, or do you need version control the way you've had it if you have it visually just in these duplicated artboards? Or maybe like you open like an artboard and each has its own contextual toolbox and you can push that as a branch. I don't know, but we were talking about Lovable introducing multiplayer mode.
Mhm.
That makes sense in something like that. Like that would make sense in that type of canvas and workflow. Not the Lovable that I kind of know now. Not even really in the Bolt that I know now would multiplayer be that attractive yet.
I'm missing the use case for the multiplayer outside of some real hobbyist kind of stuff right in its current form, right? um I'm just missing that.
Like you can't imagine like a world where you're doing deep work on an app, right? Like it's one thing if like we're multiplayer and we're kind of messing around with some designs, but you're talking about like I'm going deep on an app. What am I doing with multiplayer in that situation?
Hmm.
Like multiplayer seems like maybe a surface level touch point.
Yeah, yeah. Let's go ahead and pull this up. So we've got Tom Johnson just said another one. I saw this too. Ben South said we just raised 5.9 million to build Variant UI code generation with
Oh,
case
hey,
range and
congratulations,
room
Ben.
to explore. Here's the new site, Variant UI. Let's go ahead and open that. Pull that open here. Restream, change the site that we're looking at. Let's check this out. Ooh, do you? I like when I can direct things around on a website. It makes me happy. That's it. I can't do anything else. Well, there we go. Can I? Oh, I can only drag some things.
I just asked Ben if he'd like to jump on a call one of these days because I want to hear more about this.
So this is interactive.
Huh.
This is cool, man. I'm excited to see. Speaking of Bolt, for example, I'm excited to see somebody in that space come and do something with either a collaboration or integrating one of these tools. Because I don't know how you feel about this, but personally, I'm of the opinion that it's going to be faster for somebody that has the infrastructure of Bolt and all the features built out or Lovable or whatever it is, um, build an infinite canvas style code generation experience for you to visualize the designs and the screens than it is for somebody like that to go and build all the Bolt infrastructure, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh, so I'm
Yeah.
excited to see how that evolves.
Which
If I was Bolt, that's what I'd be up to.
Yeah, and I think that's right. I think it's going to be very telling to see how effective. Again, I don't Canvas code is not available to the general audience just yet, right? That's more of like there's an access preview. I haven't looked at that. I should. But this with Figma. So Figma's been leaked that they've got an AI app maker. They've got the website creator. We'll see what's true about a lot of that. But I have heard from people who've kind of had the opportunity to play with it. It's not very good yet. And that could be an MVP or whatever. But you're right. It's not very good yet because it's complicated as fuck to build. You have to imagine.
Yeah.
So we'll see. We'll see how this goes. Yeah, I'm excited to see all of this. Variant UI, though. Who else is doing some of this? I know that there's Variant UI.
I mean, this looks like a direct competitor to what Pietro's built, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's interesting. Have you? Where was I going with that? There was a question I was about to ask you, and I lost the train of thought. Use TL Draw.
No.
Are you familiar with TL Draw?
Yes.
So to me, and this is just a quick off topic, but I wanted to ask because I learned this recently. So TL Draw, for those the uninitiated here, is my understanding an app or a tool that allows you to do like wireframing, and then those wireframes can be converted directly into higher fidelity mocks or things like that, and not just wireframes. I mean, let me find one of the videos here. And so I've always looked at this and I thought, oh, this is really interesting, but I'm like, I don't know what my use case would be. It's like what, a powered up balsamic? I'm not sure. But I later learned they have an entire, like, part of their offering is offering this entire AI canvas that you can actually use in your own products. And I didn't know they had that, is like an API and a whole thing. And I've talked with some people who are using that, and I'm like, oh, that's actually really interesting to me. And I think I mentioned this last week, but I'm like, dude, I'm surprised there's not more companies trying to provide this infrastructure layer the way TL Draw is doing here. Like, they have the product, but like, they're offering that infrastructure. Why is Bolt not potentially offering, and I said this, like, why aren't they offering an infrastructure layer for the tools that want to be really good at maybe translating UI in a certain way, right? Like, it's an interesting play.
It is. I'm curious to see how it evolves. I'm really, really curious. I think that from what I'm observing, there's still a lot of work required to just harness the full power of the models as they keep evolving, the tool calls that they're making. It seems like there's a lot of dev effort that goes into just keeping up with that, outside of the work required to keep thinking about these new paradigms. So it's going to be interesting to see it play out, man. I love how much we all benefit from this. It's just great.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's why I think these build wars are culturally relevant, man. And maybe it's just a moment in time, which I don't think that's true. But even if it is, I think just even if 2025 is the year of these tool face-offs, I think it's an important thing to see, both from an entertaining standpoint, but like, let's actually see how these things face off in these situations.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be great. Again, we are all benefiting the most, and that's what matters here.
20 episodes in, you and I.
Is this 20?
This is 20.
I can't believe it.
What do you think, man?
Do you think that
we just cracked 1 million views total?
We did just crack 1 million views.
Yeah.
We're about to start some crazy stuff. Not Friday, but next week. Tommy and I are getting we're putting our big boy pants on. We're going to be finally doing the audio version of the show. That's going to be really nice and compressed. Everybody that was here last Friday, we tested having an actual,
Thanks, Adrian.
If I could ban him, I would. You know what I mean? I would ban him. We tested an actual agenda. It was great. That was honestly one of the best episodes I think we've ever done. So we're doing that. But we got the audio version coming out. We're going to be doing clips. We're going to be elevating the brand. We're going to know the shit out of you. You're just going to see us everywhere. And then the newsletter launches. Is that May the 12th?
May 12th. Yeah. And that's going to be a lot of things, a recapping of what's going on and some deep insights from Hunter and I, actually the things we've learned as we're building with these things. Now, Hunter, you made a post recently.
I did.
Said, hey, we're looking for some help over here.
Yes, we are.
Let's talk about that, because I am a big believer of the people who've kind of been your OGs. They're probably good candidates potentially for some of this help that we're looking for, specifically a back-end producer, somebody that can help with this show while Hunter and I figure it out. What do you think?
Yes, I don't disagree. However, I don't know if I trust any of these knuckleheads.
You don't want Adrian in here pulling the levers?
No. Those are the last things I want. You can't see it on the show, and I'm too lazy to get up and turn the camera around. But right there's a desk that has a studio display sitting on top of it. and it would be a great home for a producer right there, just about 15 feet away from me. That's what I would like. However, in the interim, I'm willing to settle for an internet person that we've never met before, um, to help us out with this. But
Yeah.
it's going
Yeah.
to be tough. It's going to be grueling, high expectations, long hours, lots of hazing. Um, it's going to be quite the gauntlet for the right person.
Yeah. 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 Hunter wants to be able to throw a stapler at you. Um, it's kind of the way he communicates. It's his love language.
I, I don't have any staplers. I'm throwing that keyboard right there.
That's fair.
Not because I don't like it, just because it's the only object I have.
Oh, look at Burnaby with the eyeballs out of LA. Burnaby says,
Yeah.
I see you, Burnaby.
Sharing an office with Hunter all day, people want that.
No
Devin,
one
I
wants
come
that.
I come on here and I joke around, but you forget that I actually am like 10% intelligent, and I got some tricks up my sleeve, man. I think that people would be blessed to be in the same office with me all day, and I have a fridge full of Diet Dr Pepper, so there's a lot going for it.
That's a pretty
Um,
good perk. It's a pretty good
can
perk.
I can I can I can we do a therapy session real quick?
I'm here for you, bud.
It's Tuesday. We're allowed to do a therapy session. Um, now that we've been in the space for a little over a month now, I I almost don't want anybody in here.
You want to be just like the king in his castle by himself?
Yeah, dude. I
Yeah.
kind of do. Like we're a week away from publicly allowing people to apply to be in here. I don't know that I'm ever going to accept those applications.
You should do live application review.
Dude, wouldn't that be great?
Yeah.
It's so peaceful in here. I like it. You know, when Kit Studio people come in, it just changes the flow. You know, I don't know. I would let Chat hang out. You know, if Chat was in town, I'd be like, here's a desk. Yeah, man. I'm gonna be sad to see it go from my private little fiefdom to actually having to have human beings in here. It's gonna make me
You're gonna have to be polite. You're gonna have to like shower more. Actually wear pants. You know.
actually wear pants.
Actually wear
Yeah.
pants. So
I mean, I am wearing pants. They're not nice pants, but I am wearing pants.
okay, all right, it's an
That's why
upgrade.
I built myself a giant private office. That way, even if people are here, I just tune them out. You know?
You have one solid wall. Everything is glass and window in that office.
Yes. Yeah.
That was your
Yeah. I have the
decision.
bookshelves behind me, and then I have the wall in front of me that has the TV that I'm looking at right now for this show.
I'm my turn for therapy.
Yeah. Go ahead. Got you.
Hunter and I met in November, and a week later we
Did we?
started the show. Was it October? Somewhere. A week after we had a real conversation, we went live. That's
None of
what I
this
know.
sounds true. He's lying.
No, that's what happened.
You are. We
Hunter's
met
gonna trick
earlier.
you.
We met earlier last year,
It's like
and then we
October.
reconnected.
Yeah.
Nope. 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 We met earlier in the year, and then we reconnected. You, Rid, and Cole and I,
Yes.
and I said, "Hey, we should do a show."
We had one combo kind of in passing, met, and then one day we had we chatted individually, and you were like, "Hey, let's go live next week." I said, "Sure, let's try it." And just kind of like what happens happens, you know. And then this started to feel like, oh, this could be something really interesting. Do I want to go into business with Hunter? Do I want to try to build cool things with him? And then it was like, yeah, probably. But
Uh-huh.
you don't really learn about people until you do real work with people.
Right.
And
Yeah.
I'm gonna say this about you, Hunter.
Oh, go ahead.
I'm
Is
impressed,
it
bro.
nice?
It's
Okay.
nice.
There we
I'm
go.
impressed,
There we
man.
go.
You know, because you never know. You think you know people until things get sweaty and scary. And I'm here to tell the world, and this is the only time I'll say something nice about Hunter.
Hmm.
Yeah, he's cracked up. He's cracked up. He's what he's cracked up to be.
Okay. Good. I'll take that. I'll take
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. There we go.
You're waiting for the other shoe to drop, aren't you?
No, I am waiting to continue to be glazed, as they say, until Adrian says something stupid in the chat. I'll tell everybody this. Tommy said, "Man, I'm not yet a millionaire," and I said, "I got you."
He
That's what I
did.
said.
He
I did.
did.
I said that.
And
And I meant it.
he's just got a fishing pole and a carrot. And he's like, "Why don't you come over here?"
Yeah, dude. I got to say, I really have enjoyed. I've enjoyed the show. I've enjoyed having a dedicated space on the calendar to just kind of let loose and just unwind. And I think Tommy and I sometimes play a little bit of a caricature of ourselves, but it's been really enjoyable. I'm excited to begin this new journey to where we're actually building a media property for real.
Yeah.
I think after you and I saw that these crazy people have come and hung out for, dude, I don't remember what it was. Let me actually see if I can pull this up real quick.
And
I
while
want to
you
pull it up.
do,
Oh, I don't want to hear. I saw Devin's comment. I don't want to see it, but hold on with me 1 second, okay? One
okay.
second. Um, Over the few sessions that we have been um
Live.
over the few sessions that we've been live. Hold on, I'm trying to see
There
this.
you go. Words are good.
On Restream, specifically on Restream, okay?
Oh, you're pulling up the
Which
analytics.
which has not been very long. I just want to say that.
3 weeks.
Um, it's been 3 weeks. It's been a couple of episodes. The watched time, so the amount of time that people have spent watching the show, is in the hundreds of thousands of hours, which is crazy to me.
I think you guys
Um,
need a therapy session, maybe.
you guys need the therapy session that you've spent that much time with us. Like if we calculated it, I'll have to do a screenshot of this afterwards. But it's pretty gnarly. Yeah,
I love that. Devin, our number one fan, he said he doesn't want to see it, but chat, this is because Hunter cannot read. Can't confirm nor deny that.
he's got
He
me.
does only voice notes, so
He's got me. All right. Well, Friday, what do we have going on Friday? We got Steven, founder CEO of Paper, coming on board to show us Paper. If he's not showing us Paper, I don't even want him here. I'm just gonna be straight up.
Yeah, and I think that's looks like it's happening. We've got some other folks potentially joining us this Friday. Outside of that, I think we've got a little vibe code session that we want to do, and I may have some things to go over with some launches that are happening this week.
I like it. I like vibe. And we also have a big announcement on Friday.
We do.
We do have a big announcement on Friday. A big announcement.
Yes.
It's good. I'm not going to tell you what it is. Jacob, if you just put in chat right now what it is that you would like therapy on, we will give you unsolicited advice.
That's technically solicited, but yeah.
Adrian says, the fact that you've put up with me in comments for so long says a lot about how awesome you guys are. We are definitely magnanimous, to say the least.
Oh, man. Yeah, I'm curious, Jacob. What you got?
What do you have,
Therapy
Jacob?
Tuesdays. Wait, Therapy Tuesdays? Is there a therapy
Tuesdays?
segment on Tuesdays? I think a little therapy segment. I think that just became a thing. There's a therapy moment on Tuesdays.
I think look, let's just be honest with people. The only reason there's therapy today is because we spent so much time yesterday dealing with other things that we didn't have time to work on the show today. Announcement, spoiler, Hunter is buying all of Hubert books to name his kid Hubba Hubba Hubert.
I would totally approve this. Yeah.
It's not worth the money, to be honest with you. 140,000 is just not worth it, man. It's not worth it.
Oh man, my daughter's born this August. Her name could be bought for way cheaper from the right sponsor. I'm just putting it out there.
How much are you talking?
Hey, listen, need a new pair of sneakers. All right. So, but Virgil sneakers. So hold on. Let me look at this. What is this? I just hear for Tommy's voice. ASMR. Let's go.
Don't do it. Don't do it. Oh boy. All right, that's it. I'm tired of talking to you folks. I'm over it. I've wasted enough time today talking to you all. We'll see you Friday at 12 p.m. at our normal time, and it's going to be serious. We're going to have serious things to say. Smart things will be said about design tools and technology. I'll be honest with you. Friday's episode is going to be so good that if you watch it, you will instantly come away and know how to make $1 million. On that note, can we do an experiment? We're going to do an experiment. Whether Tommy wants to or not, I don't care. We're going to do an experiment. Tommy froze, so we're allowed to do an experiment, chat. Here we go. Here's the experiment. I'm going to open ChatGPT, and I'm going to ask a question. Okay, here we go. Using everything you know about my operating style, if you were to use my playbook and advise an aspiring young designer or engineer on how to build their first $1 million business, what would you say? Let's see what this is. I'm going to give this is a ton of free advice.
Wait. Oh,
sorry, man. We can follow up. We can do a follow-up question.
It's going to whisper sweet nothings into your ear. All right.
No, my personal instructions are totally combat that.
I don't want you to gatekeep those for too long.
I'm being honest. I will share them with you.
Tom, don't be late again, Josh says. Yes, sir. That's fair criticism.
Ooh, yeah. Close a paid discovery before writing a single line of code. Yeah, that's right. I would do that. Leverage Loom walkthroughs, baby. Hell yeah.
Are you using Loom or using Supa Dupa, whatever it's called?
I use Loom because Supercut doesn't have enough features yet.
Yes, agreed.
Yeah.
This is a powerful stream. What time on Friday? Hey,
1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
10 a.m. Pacific. And thanks for joining us. Welcome.
This is a decent playbook, man. Okay, premium gear.
Read this out loud for those who...
Hold on, though. How dare this fucking thing say Keychron? I would never recommend that you buy a Keychron keyboard, okay? That just doesn't work. I can't read this out. I don't know what to say. Now, I also disagree with contract Philippine-based PM and designer via landed style pipeline. No, I would not do that. I disagree with that. Content Engine published 2 to 3 flagship pieces a week that document builds and learnings. I don't even do that. I need to do that.
Yeah, this is too cookie cutter for me, man. Give me a nugget in here. Is this saying anything worthwhile?
Asynchronous everything, audience-driven R&D.
How do you feel about asynchronous everything?
I love it.
Like we're about to launch. I've got a whole team of people working on things, and we're about to launch, and we have not met in person. We're doing everything async. And then I was like, oh, we should probably meet tomorrow because we're like 48 hours away from a launch. And they're like, oh, I kind of prefer async. And I was like, yeah, I guess I don't know if we have to meet, you know?
Who are you talking about?
I'm talking about a couple designers on my team as we're shipping UX Tools Redesign, the survey. We've got some annual awards coming out. So we've got a whole thing this week.
When does that come out?
May 1st is the target day, and we are very close, but we are up against it. So, I mean,
can you show it to us now?
No, not yet.
That's what this show's for.
That's what Friday's show's for. Friday's show will have the peaks.
I want everybody to know that Tommy has been DMing founder CEOs of all kinds of companies and saying, hey, I want to be your leaks guy. I want you to give me the inside track so I can leak stuff to my audience. And this man won't even leak UX tools to you guys.
I'm insecure. All right. And I'm going to share it. It's only a couple days away, which, by the way, the leaks thing has been kind of a fun experiment by itself.
Chad, I think we should make him share it. You have to show us something right now.
What do you want to see? You want to see something? All right.
We want to see a URL. Okay, you don't have to show us the actual URL, but you got to show us something.
No, I got you. Give me a second. I'm pulling it up. So I will say this. This is a preview. We've got different parts going at different intervals here. Let me stop sharing that and start sharing this. That is, yeah. All right. So the 2024. So this is a snapshot. The Design Tools survey is a snapshot of a period of time from November to January 2025. We asked thousands of designers about the different tools they're using. We publish this report every single year since 2017. And this is some of our new branding we have coming out, designed by the one and only and still work in progress, Fonz Mans. And so we've got some really great stuff coming out. We've got different categories, the top 3 tools in a lot of these different categories. And the part that I'm really excited about, which we don't have here for you right now, is the awards. So this is the very first year that we are giving out awards to different tool categories based on survey data. We are not judging these awards ourselves. We are literally setting the criteria in the survey data. And so we have things like the future of design. So the tool that was most designers were most excited about for this year. We've got a couple of categories, and I'm really excited about that. And it's a lot of work. It's coming this week.
Dude, it looks great. Only if we can get that Fonz guy to go head to head with somebody from Bolt. That'd be nice, right?
I mean, listen, I would love
25 grand. There is one thing I do want to touch on before we leave, because we didn't talk about it. It is a very serious thing. We're going to talk about it real quick.
Okay.
I'm testing to see if it works for me yet. It does not appear that I've. Oh wait, maybe I do have off it. Hold on. Do I have access to this yet? It doesn't look like I do.
The anticipation is building, and I am so.
Oh, I do have access. Here we go. Okay. This now, I know you're going to say something stupid about Perplexity. I don't even want to hear it. Okay. I don't even want to hear it.
Someone said I look like a NASCAR driver right now.
ChatGPT now has shopping built in. So okay. I said, I'm looking for a new espresso machine for my office. I got a bunch of results in a table here. Detailed recommendations, features, pros, cons, ideal for. If I click this.
Let's compare.
If I click this, I get this right here with some reviews and a direct link to buy. This is pretty nice. I'm into this.
What was the search you did for that?
I literally just said, I'm looking for a new espresso machine for my office. It pulled up options ranging from $150 to $6,300.
Okay. All right. Let's take a look at our old friend here, Perplexity. All right. So we are pulling up. I'm looking for a new espresso machine for my office. I do use Perplexity for some shopping. This actually is a use case that I use Perplexity for because I think it's pretty good.
I use ChatGPT.
Well, first of all, let's what was the top option that it gave you? Mine's the $2,000 Breville the Oracle espresso machine.
That is not the one I got. Hold on, can we scroll up though?
What are you looking for?
Okay, so it said choosing espresso machine for your office means whatever, and then it just goes straight into an option. Scroll down a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And then it gives you more options. Okay. I'm going to give this, I'm going to give this one to ChatGPT.
No.
In terms of the way it surfaced the results.
Tell me why.
I'm going to tell you why. Let me hijack the screen share.
Okay.
I don't know why you thought it was okay to kick mine off, but whatever. Here's why. Because I'm a sucker for summarizing results into a table with some of the most pertinent details that I need. Type, price, features, ideal for. This could be better, but that makes me happy. And then I like the detailed recommendations I'm getting here. I also like that it's not telling me to buy a $2,000 machine right off the bat. It's saying that I could go $550. Okay.
You're going to buy a $550 espresso machine? I think that's bad
I'm not going to. But it doesn't know my financial situation. Hold on. Let's go follow up. let's do a follow up. I'm looking for something a bit higher end, but not too high end. Okay,
I'll do
just
it
say
too.
that.
Yeah.
Okay, do the same thing. Do the same thing.
All right.
Here's what I really want to know. Okay, and maybe we should do a whole episode just on this. This would actually be really fun to look at from an entrepreneurial standpoint. How do you game the shit out of this? What is the new SEO?
Well, I mean, it has a name now, and I don't remember what I've heard it called, like AI. I don't know what it is, but there are like agencies that have already started, and that's the target goal. Is like, we want to make sure you pop up when people search for you in LLMs.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think that makes a ton of sense, right? But like, what do you do? Are we about to get into another 2008 era cat and mouse game with Google SEO? And who was, if you were around back then, like Google had, they had their spokesman and his name was like Matt or something. I can't remember. And it was this cat and mouse game. And I'm curious what's going to happen with this kind of optimization. By the way, I want access to Comet. So Perplexity, I'm rocking the swag. I'm Team Perplexity over here on the shopping. Can I get access to Comet, guys? Can I try it out, please?
Is that their browser?
That's the browser that's been teased. Yeah.
Have you tried Dia yet?
I haven't, and I also would like to try Dia. I tried
Does
to reach
anyone
out to Josh.
here have invites for Dia? If you do, send us because I would like. Adrian asks, what kind of coffee do you guys drink? Oh, we also want to leak on Hunter's latest self business, which is making millions. It's not making millions. It made $1 million.
Okay, so singular million. I'm pulling up your tweet here because listen, you posted online.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about it, all right? Because here it is. He did post this. These screenshots are going around.
This is cool. This is more important though. Devin, could you hook a brother up with an invite to Dia, please? I want to.
Oh, does Devin have it?
He said he does. We would like them, sir, if possible.
Or come on the show and give us a quick glance.
Send me your email, hunter@assembly.ventures. There it is.
Hunter just doxed himself.
I don't care. That's what assistants are for. They're just going to delete. Hunter@assembly.ventures. Okay, what's the question here?
So talk to me about the people want to know. What's the stealth project here? Not bad for a stealth business with no marketing. $1 million for the month of April.
No. That's $1 million over a year.
Oh, 2024. Okay, so 1 million in a year of a stealth. Yeah. So I mean, you've been in stealth for a year. I think it's time to come clean.
Stealth is a funny word. It's just a business that I don't talk about, and I'm not going to.
Oh, so, okay. Well, there you have it. What a complete.
Because I'll tell you why. Can I tell you why? I'm gonna get serious for a second. In 2023, we
initial seed 999,000.
I wish. In 2023, we launched 6 agencies in effectively 6 months, right? And then all of last year, I spent effectively moving away from creators to building our own systems for distribution, for sales, and then consolidating some of those agencies as quickly as I could, right? And so this is one of the spinoffs of those efforts. And it's not something that I'm interested in like diving deep into or talking about. What I will say is I yet again am going to consolidate. I have some pretty interesting ideas about where our space is going in terms of design, dev, being able to build MVPs really quickly. I think that we can do more in terms of providing customers the highest quality, like highest craft work, whether it's creative or also code. And we can do better jobs of giving customers more transparency.
I am so sleepy after listening to you talk about that.
And this is why you're not a millionaire yet, Tom.
I
uh,
just I need the dopamine hits, man.
yeah, so I'm cooking something. It's cool. Uh, I will share more soon. Maybe only no, I'm not going to pull anything up right now. I have it open on my screen right now, but I'm not going to share with you.
Okay. I will share one last thing before we head out of here. Just a quick glance at the survey itself coming together. This is just a Figma file, but we are well beyond this stage of what's coming. So we have a whole new redesign hitting the UX Tools website, as well as our large survey. These are just a couple of the quick templates. I'm not going to give you too much of a sneak peek, but we've got some dope work. I can't wait to platform the people who've been helping me with this. Some really great talent you're going to hear about very soon. And this is the Figma version. The implementation has even seen some upgrades. Couple of days, guys. I'm really excited. In line with what did we just get? We just had Vercel release their state of AI development. Then
Mhm.
immediately after that, we had Figma release the state of AI in design. And so now we're about to have the UX Tools annual survey, going to talk about all the design tools across different categories, how they're being used, as well as some AI statistics we found as well. Uh, I'm kind of a geek for this stuff, man. I love data. I love looking at how people are using stuff. Hope you guys like it. A lot of love put into this thing.
Love
A
it.
lot of
I'm excited to
lot of
see it,
lot of
man.
money put into this thing.
Yeah, I know you've worked hard on it. I'm excited to see it. This reminds me. We just saw the announcement for Vercel Ship for their conference coming in June.
We did.
That reminds me that we need to put together our own conference.
We've talked about this. So here's what's funny. We've talked about a couple of things, the made by this and that. Everything we've talked about, the timelines have adjusted and moved, but I think we are approximating always in the same direction. And this conference that we've talked about, we talked about this the very first time we chatted.
Mhm.
Was this is something we'd love to see in this kind of builder design community? Is
Yep.
like, how can we make a conference that's not just people virtually talking at you, but like really showing practical usage of how people are using a tool to achieve something really dope. Like, I'd love to get Tatiana in there and showing how she's creating some of these SREF things. I'd love to get, some of the tools showing how they're building. I want to see like Nizzy break down how he's building his email app, right? A number of things. Like, let's make it builder and designer centric, the practitioner part, not the leader. Let's talk about some obscure thing. No, 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 no. Let's talk about building. Let's talk about
Yep.
designing, like the actual work.
Yep.
Yeah.
Totally agree.
So
Totally agree. I
more to
love it.
come Friday, guys. More to come Friday. And I just want to say that I really appreciate you guys for supporting us here. Hopefully we continue to do right by you. Thank God Hunter finally put pants on. That's thanks to this community. Progress. Progress.
Perfect. Done. Thanks for hanging out with us on our aimless Tuesday. Wait until Friday.